Alright guys, we do have a new unit in Dokkan, the EZA PHY Raditz, of course. Not actually new, but when he did release, he was absolute cheeks. So he might as well have not existed. But in the big 2026, Raditz has definitely had a revival. We do have him at level 10 links. We have him at 2 dupes in the dupe system. I've gone for primarily dodge, would be higher, but I did already have a slot filled out. So couldn't go as much as I wanted to. Not quite rainbowed, but those 2 dupes will be giving him a massive boost. What I will say is I don't have the new Vegeta and Nappa, so I can't run him on the best possible team. However, we do have him on Goma's team instead. It's not as high of a buff as we would get on their lead, but still good enough. And we do have our Vegeta and Nappa units to fulfill his conditions in his passive. Whereas, of course, the new Dokkan Fest, if you do have them, for like 2 of you who summoned, they can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So we're starting with a 395k attack stat, 428k defense. He does start the turn with key +2, 250 attack and defense, and then also the 30% damage reduction. And then being in slot 1 for 1 time only does get an extra 30% damage reduction, taking him to 60. So that is where I'm going to start him. And then because we're facing 2 or more enemies, or there is a Vegeta on the team, which the Great Ape LR Vegeta is, he will gain 300% defense plus an additional 300% defense again within the turn before attacking, and then 20% damage reduction as the first attacker in the turn, taking him all the way up to 70% damage reduction. Not only that as well, we'll get guaranteed crit, and attacks are guaranteed to hit within the turn after he is hit. So, with all that being said, and because he gets so much damage reduction in slot 1, we're going to see how he does in slot 1. Does have type disadvantage, so this is going to be a very big test of him. Not 2 million links are active, of course. Double digits on normals, which is a great start. Let's see how he tanks a type disadvantage super. 81 damage. I don't care about the pathetic attack stat. I really don't business about that. 81 damage. And this is going to do probably less. 12. 12. That's with type disadvantage. Again, I know that attack stat was like a baby attack stat, like who's doing 15 million in the big 2026, but him tanking that, let's not forget, SSJ 4 Daima Goku does about 4 million super, or like I think a bit over. So for a type disadvantage unit to tank him for nothing, bear in mind as well, it's Raditz. He was straight bum cheeks when he released in 2022. So to see him do that now is a little bit wild, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care that he didn't do that much damage. I'm just happy he tanked so well. And again, this isn't even on his best team. So technically, he can actually be a little bit better. Damn. I'm impressed. We could wrap this video up right now. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Dokkan, you did good. I know we've literally only seen him for 1 turn, but Dokkan, you did good. I mean, to be fair, no matter what they did, all they had to do was make him usable, and he would have been 10 times better than he was when he first come out. Damn. I also know Rainbow's not going to make that much of a difference, but still, that's also not on his best lead. That's also him not Rainbow. And even pre-Super, we saw him tank a Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku Super for not even 100 damage. So Raditz, when attacking with 12 or more ki, will also get 250 extra attack. And then when receiving an attack with 12 or more ki, he will also get an extra 250% defense on top of all the extra defense he got for us facing 2 or more enemies and or having a Vegeta unit on the team. So he gets a lot of defense purely from just basically existing and having a Vegeta unit on the team. Or, of course, facing 2 or more enemies, but we're not doing that, so Vegeta. Now, bear in mind, he does lose 30% damage reduction in slot 1 now because that was one time only. So we have lost the 30%. So that means going forward, Raditz will have his base 30, then also have his 20% in slot 1. So he's actually now only at 50%. So he has lost 30. So I don't think Raditz should really be in slot 1 anymore. But then maybe all the defense he gets is enough anyway. Oh, sorry. Am I seeing that side EZA Nappa with over 3 million defense? Excuse me? Damn. I mean, at least we've got some links active now. And then when we're facing one or more, only one enemy, or when there's a ally who includes Nappa in the name, Raditz will gain 200% attack, launch an additional super attack guaranteed, and have a 50% chance to dodge, but he has to be in slot 3. He'll also gain 180 attack and a 70% chance to crit if the target enemy's HP is 60% or less, or when attacking with 12 or more ki. So that's as long as we have a Nappa. The only annoying thing about that is, as I said in his passive, the enemy has to be below 60% HP. Which I'm like, that's fine, because naturally you're going to lower an enemy to 60% HP or below. But until you get there, Raditz is going to be not doing as much damage as he possibly can. And especially if you don't put him in slot 3 either. And I kind of don't want to do that yet, because I'm trying to show him off. But it's mainly that part of his passive that just I find really jarring, is the 180, the 70% chance to crit, needing to be locked behind an enemy, dropping below 60% HP or more. So I'm like, until you do that 40% damage, Raditz is missing a big chunk of attack stat and a lot of crit as well. And it's kind of like, what's the point? Just give it to him. If you have a Nappa on the team, just give it to him. So what's he doing now? 22.8. And bearing in mind, again, he has lost 30% damage reduction, and he's not in slot 1, so we are missing out on another 20%. So he only has 30 right now. No additional super. And he's still tanking for double digits. Fair enough, he's still tanking for double digits. I mean, I know it's a normal, but still. Then on super attack, Raditz is raising his attack and defense by 50% for 4 turns. So that's a long while to be keeping all of that for. I'm quite intrigued to see how Nappa tanks here. He's got over 3 mil defense. No way. No actual way. I mean, I'm not surprised of how much stats this Nappa gets, but goddamn. Let's not forget, he's giving out Saiyan Saga support. The key +3 and attack and defense +50% is huge. And you can combine that with the side EZA Tech Raditz as well. Although I haven't EZA'd him yet because for some unknown reason, Dokkan decided to put him under Bardock's EZA medals when they could have just put him under Raditz's EZA medals and we could have just done all of them at the same time. But, you know, never mind. And then because we have so much HP, he's got that as much as possible. Almost 3,780% defense. Damn. Dokkan, you did good. EZA Raditz is amazing. And then not only is EZA Raditz amazing, do you know, I'm going to do this just to make sure Frieza's okay. Not only is he amazing, but then you have an amazing side EZA in Nappa. And I think Tech Raditz looks really, really good as well, even though I haven't used them yet. So Dokkan, what I will say is they've done a very, very good job. And I mean, they've been on a very good trend on this. Probably in at least more than a year. A very good trend of buffing categories that are basically dead. They did it with Corroded Body and Mind. We got a bit extra of Margin Vegeta recently. But when Baby dropped, they did that with Corroded Body and Mind. They've done it again now with Saiyan Saga. Mission Execution slightly with Tao. And the EZAs they did then. But Saiyan Saga was dead in the water. Vegeta and Nappa, I mean, Vegeta's not great, but the Nappa side of things, amazing. Phys Raditz looks sensational. Again, I know he's not put out numbers, but he's probably going to do that more so in slot 3. You know, the idea is probably to have that side EZA Nappa in slot 2, have the EZA Phys Raditz in slot 3, and then I'm pretty sure Raditz, the tech one, the side EZA has the support that lasts like, what, 3-4 turns? So then you can like group all of that together and really kind of help out Fizz Raditz. And to be fair, Vegeta and Nappa as well, and whoever else is on your team. But I do like how both the side EZAs can kind of combine Saiyan Saga support like that. But I know out of slot 3, Fizz Raditz really isn't doing too much damage, which is fair. Like 20 mil just isn't great in 2026. However, the fact he tanks so well, I don't really mind that much, I'll be real. And then to finish off his passive, we can get him an All Allies Key +2, which will continuously stack. But to do this, you have to deliver the final blow. So if you're doing an event that is multiple phases, as long as Raditz keeps delivering the final blow, you'll keep supporting All Allies with Key +2. So obviously, realistically, in a normal scenario, you're not going to get loads and loads of Key. Like, you're not going to get up to like Key +40. But it's support nonetheless, and you can stack it. But setting up a final blow can be quite finicky. It just can be. But I don't have animations on, so let me pop those on. And we're going to pop his active skill, which can be activated when facing only one enemy or when the character receives 3 or more attacks in battle. Actually, it can be activated when facing only one enemy after he receives 3 or more attacks in battle, which can literally happen as quick as turn 3 on his second appearance. So he's going to greatly raise attack temporarily. He's going to cause ultimate damage and stun for 1 turn. He's not actually going to stun here because we can't. But if and when you can use that, it's going to be handy as well. So let's pop his active.
That all, huh? Is it my turn now? Time to show you what real power looks like. You're dead!
To be fair, that weren't bad. It weren't great, but it weren't bad, if we're being completely honest. And you know what? I kind of want to see how Raditz, we actually don't have the key. Oh, that's tough. That is... Okay, maybe we're not going to do that. I was going to test him in slot 1 without the 30% damage reduction he has 1 time. But maybe I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to slide him into slot 3. Hopefully we make it there. Because Raditz needs 12 or more key to get the extra 250 attack and the extra 250 defense when being attacked. So I kind of need him to have 12 key. So let's see what he's putting out numbers-wise. Never mind, we'll come back. Okay, let's try that again. See how Raditz is sitting in slot 3. Also linked up with Nappa, so he does have the Saiyan Saga support and a couple links active. I think that's the only downside about Raditz is his link set isn't the best. I mean, you do have, what, Saiyan Warrior Race, Fierce Battle, Prepared for Battle, and then maybe Saiyan Lineage, but like they're not giving loads. Like links like Saiyan Lineage are primarily key links with a little bit of stats at level 10. But Brawl Beatdown and Fierce Battle, fair. So again, because we are in slot 3, and we do have Nappa on the team or facing one enemy, which we have both, Raditz is going to be having 200% attack with a guaranteed additional super with 50% chance to dodge because he is in slot 3. So we should see his attack stat take a bit of a jump, and then he will also gain the 180. But again, that is when an enemy's HP is 60% or less. So we will come back once Daima Goku's health has dropped down quite a bit. But for now, we're just seeing Raditz with the 200% attack, the guaranteed additional super, and the dodge if he decides to dodge for being in slot 3. So how are we looking this time around? Nappa's tanking really well, by the way. 31.7. I mean, obviously, it's a lot better. But again, this is the part that just jars me. Why are we locking so much attack stat? Why are we locking 180% attack behind the enemy being at 60% HP or less? Again, I know it's something you will eventually get to anyway. You are naturally going to get an enemy's HP down. There's the dodge, fair play. That's why you want to go primarily dodge in the dupe system, so we can dodge elsewhere in the rotation. But you will get there eventually, cool. But until you get down to 60% HP, Raditz is missing so much extra attack, and I don't get why, man. Like, we've already fulfilled the condition. We've already facing one enemy. We've already got a Nappa. Why is there even more? It's not even like 31 millis, an insane amount. And this 180 is to just kind of be like, well, the enemy's almost dead. Let's give him a bit extra. 31 mil in 2026 just isn't that high. Okay, I've got it set up. Raditz has just popped his active skill. We're sitting over a 4.49 milli attack stat. We've also got the Saiyan Saga support with Nappa. There's no risk of us dying. Everything is coming up Millhouse. So he's in slot 3. We've got all the checklist ticked off. Now let's see what kind of damage Raditz is putting out in slot 3 with all his attack buffs, a super attack or 2 under his belt, and then also the Saiyan Saga support to go with it. And also Goku being under 60% HP. So I think his last attack stat was like, what, 31, 32 mil? 54.6. I mean, that's really good. That's a lot better. But you're only going to get that almost 60 mil attack stat once the enemy is below that threshold, which, again, I know you're just going to get to anyway, so a good amount of the fight, Raditz is going to be putting out those kind of numbers. If you do put him in slot 3, which if you want all that, of course, you're going to. But I think it's just so long-winded to have to wait until the enemy gets weaker for Raditz to actually put out good, acceptable numbers for 2026. That's not like a bonus where Raditz all of a sudden starts doing absurd numbers like 100 mil or even like 80, 90. No, just for him to do good 2026-esque numbers, you need to damage the enemy, which I think is kind of dead. Other than that, once you're there, great. Super attacks more than once, ton of crit, dodge, great. And even before that, Raditz looks really, really good, especially his turn 1 appearance. Saiyan Saga has had some massive boosts over the last 2 days with EZA Phys Raditz, EZA Tech Raditz, and of course EZA Strength Nappa. But for a unit that was non-existent when he first released, Dokkan have done a good job bringing him back in 2026. So, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, even on the Strength Nappa and Tech Raditz as well. Let me know all your good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.